Ford Edge is the first big SUV from the company to hit European shores since the gas-guzzling Explorer more than a decade ago. What sets the Edge apart, however, is that a pair of diesel engines should make it much more appealing to buyers than its predecessor. A large, cheap family off-roader being around the same size as the upmarket Volkswagen Touareg but priced more closely to the Hyundai Santa Fe, Ford hopes that its new SUV will replicate the success of the Volvo XC60 and appeal to a market of affluent, family-oriented buyers. With a glut of upmarket off-roaders including the Jaguar F-Pace, Land Rover Discovery Sport and Mercedes GLC available for similar money, the challenge for Ford is to match the plush feel of these models but for a much lower like-for-like price. Engineered for global markets, tweaked for the UK, the Edge has been engineered to sell around the world, adapted slightly for regional tastes. After around a year on sale in the USA, the car is now available in Europe. To ensure that it's not just an American SUV foisted on us Europeans, see Explorer above, Ford has spent a lot of money on the car's engineering and construction so that it can handle the stiffer suspension and sharper steering needed for faster, more winding European roads. It has also added additional soundproofing to meet the refinement levels expected by European buyers. Pair of diesel engines, auto or manual gearboxes, all-wheel drive. There are two 2.0-litre diesel engines available, a 180 horsepower unit and a 210 horsepower bi-turbo version of essentially the same motor. The less powerful version comes with a 6-speed manual, while the 210 horsepower motor is only available with 6-speed PowerShift Auto. All-wheel drive is standard across the range. Oddly, both manual low-power and auto high-power Edges have the same CO2 emissions of 149 grams/km, meaning annual road tax charges of £145, and official combined fuel economy of 48.7 miles per gallon. Larger alloy wheels do cut this figure, however. It will be a photo finish in a race between the two models, with the 210 horsepower car taking 9.4 seconds to accelerate from 0 to 62 miles per hour and the 180 horsepower version 9.9 seconds. For trim levels on offer, the range is as straightforward as the engine lineup. From launch, prices start around £30,000 for the entry-level Zetec, followed by Titanium at around £32,000 and Sport at around £34,500. Plush Vignal trim joined the range in October 2016. Even base Zetec spec includes 19-inch alloy wheels, a DAB radio, tinted windows, a lane-keeping aid, rear-view camera, powered boot lid and a host of other useful kit, while Titanium adds little luxuries such as heated seats, sat-nav and active noise control noise cancellation. For the Sport, it's all black, 20-inch alloys, grille and trim. Sports suspension, a Sony sat-nav system and bodykit also come with this model. The Edge is the first new car to offer Ford's active noise control and acoustic windows across the range, which together should boost refinement levels. The theory is that the speakers transmit a sound at a frequency that cancels out the engine noise, while the glass has a thin film that does the same job with onrushing wind. Maximizing the potential of such tech, luxurious Vignal specification joined the range towards the end of 2016. This range-topping spec includes bespoke styling, larger alloy wheels, Windsor leather upholstery and the option of two of the more powerful diesel engines in the lineup, the 180 horsepower with manual gearbox and the 210 horsepower automatic model. High resale value. Taking all this into account, will the Edge take Ford forward into new markets? Well, our experts have given this car the second highest predicted used value of any Ford, after the Focus RS, which suggests they reckon it has a chance. Strong residual values are not only good for those who buy their car outright, as they should recoup a greater proportion of the price of the vehicle when they come to sell, but they also cut PCP finance rates. Low APR and Ford deposit contributions make the Edge even more affordable for buyers, all in a part of the market where manufacturers don't often discount their cars. So is it really as practical as a Touareg, as cost-effective as a Santa Fe and likely to be as successful as an XC60? Read on for our full Ford Edge review to find out. Despite relatively high horsepower and torque figures for this sort of car, 180 horsepower and 400 Nm for the manual, 210 horsepower and 450 Nm for the automatic, neither version feels particularly quick. It's a big, heavy thing, but then it's not the sort of vehicle you want to hustle along in anyway. You'll cover 0 to 62 miles per hour in less than 10 seconds with both options, but the automatic pips the manual to the post if you're being scientific about it. its 9.4-second sprint is half a second ahead. We shouldn't think you'll notice the difference on the road, and the indecisive automatic gearbox means that manual versions feel every bit as fast in reality. Choice of 2 transmissions. We found the Ford Edge's manual box a bit odd in a car this big, especially with a 4-cylinder engine, when similarly sized models like the Twig have 6 cylinders for extra performance. The auto hunts for the right gear a fair bit when faced with steep hills, and you can tell it is having to haul a substantial amount of weight. However, it is fine in everyday use and would still be a choice for this type of car. Steering is fairly sharp for a car like this, especially in sport trim. The Edge feels more agile than a Twig, and holds its line surprisingly well without much body waller around bends. In this respect, Ford has done a good job of redesigning it for European tastes. The Edge doesn't feel at all like an American car, especially at high speeds, where it feels noticeably more settled and composed. The ride is also not as cushy as you might expect for a car from the USA either, though. The adaptive steering, standard on high-spec sport models, is light and responsive at low speeds but heavier when you're moving faster, making it feel a little more precise than the standard setup. Its width means it's not an SUV to fling through corners, though. You often find yourself sat over the white line if you do so. The Ford Edge's cabin is a bit of a mix in terms of quality. There are some nicely trimmed bits, such as the chrome finishes and fake carbon panels on the doors and dash, but the matte black center console doesn't share this upmarket feel. However, given the amount of car you get for the money, buyers can't really quibble. Much of the trip computer information is sited between the half-analog, half-digital dials in front of the driver, which could be clearer. These can be a little confusing, with some small details. Integrating digital displays in the middle of the speedometer and rev counter does reduce the size of the needles, too, making it harder to tell your speed at a glance than it should be. Overall though, it's a perfectly workmanlike effort, if not quite at the level of a similarly priced Volkswagen, for instance. This is a very big, comfortable car, with a great seating position for the driver. Despite the high-set seat, it's easy to reach the pedals, and all-round visibility for the driver is pretty good for this size of car. We tried cars with the optional leather seats, part of a 2,000 pounds luxe pack on titanium, and found them firm and supportive, not soft and squishy as you might expect from an American car. If anything, the fabric and leather seats on the sport model are even more comfortable and supportive. The active noise control systems and acoustic windows work superbly. Speakers transmit a noise at a frequency that cancels out the engine drone, while the glass has a thin film between the 2 panes which does the same job with wind and road noise. When cruising, engine and road noise levels are low, with just a little wind audible. The engine could be a little more hushed when accelerating, though. While you might expect Vignale cars to be more comfortable, you'll notice that the large 19-inch alloy wheels with low-profile tires actually make for a fairly bumpy experience. This is of course tempered by the fact that you've got lots of nice-looking leather to look at. From launch there were 3 trim levels to choose from: Zydeck, Titanium and Sport. Towards the end of 2016 the luxurious Vignale specification was introduced. Standard Ford Edge equipment, even base Zydeck models, get a decent amount of standard kit. Each Edge gets all-wheel drive along with active noise control, a system that plays frequencies to counteract noise in the cabin, a pedestrian detection system, DAB radio, the FemSync 2 multimedia connectivity system, tinted rear glass and 19-inch alloys. There are automatic headlights and wipers along with an electrically heated windscreen and traffic sign recognition to remind you of important signs such as speed limits. Moving up to titanium nets you a different design of alloy wheel along with front and rear parking sensors, a powered tailgate, sat-nav, illuminated scuff plates, acoustic side glass to further cut down on external noise, and heated front sports seats. At the top of the range, sport cars come with 20-inch black alloy wheels, more athletic body styling, sports suspension, an upgraded Sony sat-nav with 12 speakers, adaptive steering, as mentioned in the handling section, and alloy pedals. Sitting at the top of the range is Vignale, which nets you Unkai body styling along with 19-inch alloy wheels, Windsor leather upholstery and lots of chrome finishing to amplify its luxurious aura. Optional Ford Edge accessories: you've got a choice of 10 paint colors and a wide range of additional kits such as adaptive headlights, a panoramic glass roof, a turbo and heated steering wheel. You can upgrade Zydeck cars to have the powered tailgate, and in fact many of the items listed above on higher trims are available as individual extras if desired. A Luxe Pack is on offer too, improving comfort levels thanks to the addition of perforated leather front seats featuring heating and cooling functions, heated rear seats, powered front seats, an opening panoramic roof and electric door mirrors. The Edge hasn't been crash tested by Euro NCAP at this point, but given the amount of kit on offer, we'd expect it to perform well. In fact, Ford claims this is the first of its models designed to meet the latest 2016 occupant and pedestrian protection standards. Standard Ford Edge safety equipment. Even at the lowest ZTEC specification level, you get Ford Sync 2, which features voice recognition software allowing the driver to keep their eyes on the road while using the multimedia features. For example, simply tell the car what to find via the sat-nav, "We're fitted," and it'll do the rest. You also get a rear-view camera, keyless ignition, a low-speed automatic braking system, tinted rear windows to keep the rear occupants out of view, automatic headlights and wipers, a quick defrosting function for the windscreen, a system to keep you in your lane unless you indicate, and traffic sign recognition, which displays the speed limit and any other relevant road signs. Move up to titanium to get front and rear parking sensors, while sport models get an adaptive steering system that is lighter at lower speeds to help parking. Optional safety systems for the Edge. Two of the most compelling safety features available for extra cash are adaptive headlights, which turn when you steer, allowing you to see better when cornering, and inflatable rear seatbelt airbags for added peace of mind for your all-important backseat passengers. You've got the option of an automatic parking system too, and adaptive cruise control that'll match the car's speed to the vehicle in front up to a preset limit. It's a large car built with practicality in mind, so the Ford Edge is pretty good in this respect. Its cup holders are huge, as you would expect. That's an important issue for American car buyers, though the tooth in the center console are deep rather than wide, and there are lots of locked-away spaces to put things, while the rear seats drop flat at the touch of a button. There's plenty of shoulder room in the front and legroom in the rear, and dogs should be at home too in the 602-liter boot. Folding down the rear row of seats liberates a total of 1,847 liters of luggage room, rivaling some small vans. If you want to tow anything, then both versions of the Edge have a 2,000 kilograms brake towing weight, around average for the sector, and you're able to carry an extra 75 kilograms on the roof.